We're going to continue our discussion of Chapter 11 on page 362 in your book with 11-4, scrolling through a long document. Okay, one way to move among the pages in a multiple page document is to drag the scroll box in the vertical scroll bar. As you drag, a screen tip will appear identifying the current page number. If paragraphs are formatted with the built-in heading styles, the first heading on the page also appears in a screen tip. Pressing the page up and page down keys scrolls the document one screen at a time. Another way to move to another page in the document is to use the Pages tab in the navigation pane. To open the navigation pane, you can click the page count indicator button at the left end of the status bar. You can select the navigation pane checkbox in the Show group on the View tab, or you can click the Find button in the Editing group on the Home tab. After you open the navigation pane, you need to click the Pages tab to see thumbnails of the pages in the document in a scrollable list. You click a thumbnail to instantly move to that page in the document. Okay, so let's play with this a little bit. In the vertical scroll bar, point to the scroll box and then press and hold the mouse button. A screen tip appears identifying the page as page 1, and the first heading of introduction is also in the screen tip. Drag the scroll box down. Okay, when it changes to page 2, you'll have a page tip, screen tip, and also program description. Your heading there will show up. Okay, if we drag on down to page 3, we will get a tip that says it's page 3 with questions being the screen tip, in the screen tip. Okay, on the status bar, click the page count indicator where it says page 3 of 3, and the navigation pane will open. In the navigation pane, click the Pages tab, and there you have a thumbnail of the different pages, and you can click on one to open that page. Okay. If you point in the navigation, okay, we'll close the navigation pane right here. All right. So that's how you can navigate in your pages. All right. Working with document outlines is the next section that it talks about. Alright, reviewing a document's outline can help you manage a document's overall organization. It lets you see at a glance the hierarchy of the document headings, paragraphs, formatting, styles, and that kind of thing. When you work with an outline, you can move topics to other locations in the outline, or you can change the level of the headings. Changing a heading 2 to a heading 1 is called promoting the heading. Moving an item lower in the outline is called demoting the heading. If you use the built-in heading style to format the headings in your document, when you promote or demote a heading, the next higher or lower level of style is then applied. Alright, and then to work with a document outline, you can use the Headings tab in the navigation pane. When you click a heading in the navigation pane, the document scrolls to display that heading at the top of the document window. You can also promote or demote headings in the navigation pane, and when you change the level of headings, subheadings are promoted or demoted one level as well. Headings with subheadings have either a collapsible arrow or an expand arrow next to them in the navigation pane. So if we look at this, we're going to go to the View tab. And in the Show group, click the Navigation pane checkbox. At the top of the navigation pane, click the Headings tab. The document headings are then displayed. In the navigation pane, click the Possible Routes heading. Alright, in the navigation pane next to the possible routes heading, click the collapse arrow. The headings formatted as heading 3 headings under the possible routes heading disappear, and the arrow next to the possible routes heading changes to an expand arrow. In the navigation pane, point to the program description heading. A box appears around the heading. Drag the program description heading up, but do not release the mouse button. As you drag the heading, the pointer changes to an arrow with a little box, outlined box under it, which is the same pointer you saw when you used the drag and drop technique, and horizontal line appears indicating the position of the heading when you release the mouse button. When the horizontal line is positioned above funding and below introduction, release the mouse, and the program description heading and all the subheadings under it are moved to the new position in the document. Okay. In the navigation pane, click the questions heading. On the ribbon, click the Home tab. In the Styles group, the Headings to Style is selected. In the navigation pane, right-click the Questions heading and click Promote. The heading moves to the left in the navigation pane so it aligns below the other headings formatting with heading 1. In the Styles group on the Home tab, the style applied to this heading is now heading 1. In the navigation pane, click the Close button. And now we're going to save all of our changes. Alright, Outline View displays the various heading levels in a document as an outline in the document window instead of in a pane. If you create an outline view, the built-in heading styles are applied automatically. Working with the outline and outline view is similar to viewing the structure of a document in the navigation pane. However, the outline view, you can see the body text below the headings if you want to. In the outline view, outline symbols appear to the left of each paragraph. The plus sign symbol appears next to headings that have subheadings or body text below the heading. The minus sign symbol appears next to headings that do not have any subordinate text. A small gray circle next to a paragraph indicates the text is body text and not a heading. A horizontal line below a heading indicates that there is body text below that heading. When you click the outline symbol next to a heading, you select the heading and all of its subordinate text or a section. To move a section after you select it, you can drag it or click the Move Up or Move Down button in the Outline Tools group on the Outlining tab, which is visible only in Outline View. You can also use buttons on the Outlining tab to promote or demote headings or to demote text from a heading to body text. On the ribbon, click the View tab. In the Views group, click the Outline button. Alright, and we're going to go up to the top. Okay, the document switches to Outline View and a new tab, Outlining, now appears on your ribbon. If necessary, you can change your zoom so that you can see better. On the Outlining tab in the Outline Tools group, click the Show Level box arrow and then click Level 3. Alright. Now only text formatting with heading 1, heading 2, or heading 3 appears. Next to the funding heading, click the plus sign symbol. Well, it won't let me click the plus sign symbol. Okay. We'll select it all. Okay. The funding heading are all selected. In the Outline Tools group, Level 2 appears in the Outline Level box. No, it doesn't. Okay, outline level is level 2. This is the level of the selected funding heading. In the outline tools, click the Promote button. Okay, the selected heading is promoted to level 1 heading, and its subheadings are promoted to level 2. In the Outline Tools group, level 1 now appears in your outline level box. Next to the funding heading, point to the plus sign symbol. Press and hold the mouse and then drag down, but do not release the mouse button. As you drag, a horizontal line will appear indicating the position of the heading, and the pointer will change to a double-sided arrow. When the horizontal line is above the questions heading, release the mouse button. The funding heading and its subheads move to just above the question heading. On the Outlining tab in the Close group, click the Close Outline View button. Alright, go to the top of the page, Control Home, Control S, and save your changes. Alright, changing the margins. Margins are the blank areas at the top, bottom, left, and right sides of pages between the text and the edges of the page. The default settings for documents are 1-inch margins on all sides. This is fine for most documents, but sometimes you want to change the margins. For example, you might want to provide additional space to allow readers to take notes. To change margins, click the Margins button in the Page Setup group on the Page Layout tab to display the menu. You can choose from the predefined margins on the menu, or you can click the Custom Margins command to open the Margins tab in the Page Setup dialog box to select your own settings. So press the Control Home keys to move the insertion point back to the top of your document if you have already done so. On the ribbon, click the View tab. In the Zoom group, click the One Page button. The current page of the document, page 1, appears completely in the Word window, and you can easily see the margins. On the ribbon, click the Page Layout tab. In the Page Setup group, click the Margins button. Click Wide. The menu closes and the margins of the document are changed to the wide setting, which keeps the 1-inch margin at the top and bottom but changes both sides of the margins to 2 inches. In the Page Setup group, click the Margins button, and at the bottom of the menu, click Custom. The Page Setup dialog box will open. The current margin settings are displayed in the boxes in the Margins section at the top of the Margins tab. Press the Tab key twice to select the value in the left box. And then type in 1.5. And in the right, put in 1.5 in it as well. And then click OK. And then change our zoom back to 100%. 100, 120, whatever you like to look at it in. I like 100%. Alright, save your changes. Alright, inserting a manual page break. As you add text to a document, automatic page breaks, sometimes called soft page breaks, are inserted. You can create a new page manually by inserting a manual page break, often called a hard page break. To insert a manual page break, you use the Page Break button in the Pages group on the Insert tab. When non-printing characters are displayed, manual page breaks appear as a dotted line with the words page break in the center of the line. So if we scroll so that you can see the bottom of page 2. And the top of page 3. And then click before the word equipment in the bulleted item equipment needed. On the ribbon, click the Insert tab. And click the Page Break button. That appears in the Pages group. A manual page break is inserted before the insertion point, and the equipment needed bulleted list moves to the top of the next page. Okay, save your changes. Adding page numbers, headers, and footers. To add page numbers in a document, you use a page number field. A field is a placeholder for variable information that includes an instruction to insert the specific information. A page number field inserts the correct page number on each page. Usually page numbers appear in the top or bottom margin. You can also insert page numbers in the side margins, although for business or academic documents it's customary to place them at the top or the bottom. When you insert a page number field, the document switches to header and footer view. A header is text that appears at the top of every page in a document, and a footer is text that appears at the bottom of every page. In this book, the chapter number and title appear in the footer. In header and footer view, the body of the document is dimmed, indicating that it cannot be edited and you can type only in the header or footer area. To add page numbers to a document, click the page number button in the header and footer group on the Insert tab. On the menu that opens, point to the position of the page where you want to insert the page number to open a menu of page number styles. You can choose to insert the page number in the header or footer, in the left or right margin, or at the current position of the insertion point. Alright, if necessary, click anywhere on page 3 to position the insertion point. On the ribbon, click the Insert tab. If necessary, in the header footer group, click the page number button. Point to the bottom of the page. A gallery of page number styles will open. Scroll down and examine the styles. Okay, so there's a lot of different styles. Scroll back to the top of the list and then click the plain number 3 style. The document switches to header footer view, and the page number for the current page, which is 3, appears right aligned in the footer area. The page number has a gray background indicating that it is a field and not simply a number that you typed. The field might not be shaded on your screen. The Header and Footer Tools Design tab appears on the ribbon. If necessary, click the Header Footer Tools Design tab to make it active. It should already be active. On the Header and Footer Tools Design tab in the Close group, click the Close Header Footer button. Header and Footer View closes, and the Header and Footer Tools Design tab no longer appears on the ribbon. If you scroll, you can see that your header and footer are applied to your footer is applied to your pages, and your pages are now numbered. Okay. Adding a header and footer, you can insert a simple header or footer in Header and Footer View, which you switch to by double-clicking in the header or footer area, or by clicking the header or footer button in the Header and Footer group on the Insert tab and clicking Edit Header or Footer. You then type the header or footer text directly in the header or footer area. Formatting the text as you would any other text in a document. Alright, you can also insert a formatted header or footer by using the header and footer buttons in the header and footer group on the Insert tab or on the Header and Footer Tools Design tab, and then click a style in the gallery of headers and footers that open. Many of the styles in the header and footer galleries include page numbers and graphic elements such as horizontal lines or shaded boxes. Some also include content controls. A content control is a placeholder for text you insert. It can store a specific type of text such as a date or a document property. A property is identifying information about a file that is saved with the file, such as the author's name and the date the file was created. So let's create a footer. On page 2, double-click the footer area. The document switches to Header and Footer View, and the Header and Footer Tools Design tab appears on the ribbon and is the active tab. The insertion point is positioned before the page number field in the footer area, ready for you to begin typing. I want you to type in your name. Okay. On the ribbon, click the Home tab. In the paragraph group, click the Align Left button. The text in the footer is now left aligned. With the insertion point between your name and the number field, press the Tab key twice. The page number moves to the 5.5-inch mark on the ruler, aligning the text with the right indent marker at the 5.5-inch marker. On the ribbon, click the Header and Footer Tools Design tab. In the navigation group, click the Go to Header button. The insertion point moves to the header on page 2. In the Header and Footer group, click the Header button. The header gallery opens similar to the page number gallery. Point to several of the heading styles. The screen tip, name the header style and describe what is included in that particular group. Okay, so we'll scroll down and look at some of the styles. Okay, scroll down and then click the grid header. Click the Document Title Content Control. The entire content control becomes selected in the Title tab, in this case with the label title appears. Type Proposal for Mountain Biking at NLC. The placeholder text is replaced by the text you type. Click the Date Content Control. The entire content control is selected in the Title tab with the label Date appears. An arrow appears on the right side of the control. Click the arrow at the bottom of the calendar and click Today. The calendar closes and today's date replaces the placeholder text in the date content. Click the Date Title tab. The entire control is then selected. And click the Delete key. The Date Content Control is deleted. Double-click in the document area and the header and footer view will close. When you insert a page number or a header or a footer, it appears on every page in the document. If you don't want the header and footer to appear on the first page of the document, you can specify this by selecting the different first page checkbox in the options group on the header and footer tools design tab. So change the view to page 1. On the ribbon, click the Insert tab. In the header and footer group, click the Header button. At the bottom of the menu, click Edit Header. The view changes to your header and footer view, and Header and Footer Tools Design tab is selected. The insertion point is blinking in the header on page 1. This is the same thing that would have happened if you had double-clicked in the header area of page 1. On the Header and Footer Design tab in the Options group, click the Different First Page checkbox. The content of the header and the footer, including the page number, disappear from page 1, and the tabs labeling the header and footer area on page 1 change to the first page header and first page footer. Scroll down to see page 2. Okay, and confirm that the header and footer still appear on that page, and on 3 and 4. Okay, close the header footer view and change the zoom back. Okay, see, we can zoom out so that you can see that your header and footer appears on some page but not all pages. Alright, let's bring it back up to 100%. Save your changes. Alright, so now creating citations and a list of works cited. When you write a research paper, you should always cite your sources. A source is anything you use to research your topic, including books, magazines, websites, and movies. Every time you quote or refer to a source within the research paper itself, you need to include a citation. A formal reference to the work of others, and usually as a parenthetical reference to the author and page number of a source. A citation should include enough information to identify the quote or reference material so that the reader can easily locate the source in an accompanying works cited list. Every source you cite needs to be listed in a list of works cited, sometimes called references or a bibliography. In common usage, the list of works cited, references, and the bibliography are the same thing, a list of sources cited in a document. So let's look at select a style for the citations and a list of works cited. On the ribbon, click the Reference tab. In the Citations and Bibliography group, click the Style box and then make sure MLA 7th edition is chosen. If you are using Office 2010, it may still be 6th edition, and that will be okay. On page 374, it gives you a checklist of formatting for a research paper using MLA. I'll let you guys look over that for yourself, but that gives you an outline of what things are supposed to be like in an MLA research paper, which you will need if you have to do a paper in English. Most English teachers make you use MLA style. Alright, so to create a new source and insert a citation, click the Insert Citation button in the Citations. And, okay, hang on. It gives you a little overview and then it works you through it. Okay, so if you create a new source and insert a citation to it, you will click the Insert Citation button in the Citations and Bibliography group on the References tab. Click Add New Source and create your source. Okay? So what we're going to do on page 1, below the Available Land heading, place the insertion point immediately before the period at the end of the third sentence, after North Meadows State Park. right here. Okay? On the References tab, you're going to click the Insert Citation button in your Citations and Bibliography group. You're going to do Add New Source. We're going to click our Type list here, and we're going to do a website. We're going to click the Author box and put in Alan Freeman. We're going to click the name of the web page box and then type protected land in the North Lake area. The year box, we're going to make it 2011. In the year accessed box, we're going to say 2016. Let's make it 2014 since we're in 2014. We're going to click in the month access box and make it May. Well, and in the day, we're going to say the 5th. We're going to click in the medium box and type web. Then we're going to click OK. Alright, so it added Freeman at the insertion point in parens so that you know that it came from that source. Okay. Click anywhere on the Freeman citation. The citation content control is now available. Locate the funding heading on page 3. And position the insertion point at the end of the second sentence before the period after bringing them to camp. On the References tab in the Citations and Bibliography group, click the Insertion tab. Source you just added is listed. We're going to click Add New Source. We're in the type area, we're going to say Report. Below the author, click the Corporate Author checkbox. And we're going to put in North Lake Camping Committee. Then we're going to add the title is, we're going to say 2014. It says 2015 in your book. We're going to say 2014 Report on Survey Results. For the year, we're going to put 2014. For the city, we're going to put Elliott. And for the medium, we're going to put print. Then we're going to click OK. Alright. You have your new citation inserted there for North Lake Camping Committee. Alright, we're going to save to this point. And then we're going to do inserting a citation to an existing source. If you need to insert a citation to a source you have already added to your list, you simply select the source from the Insertion Citation menu. So under Funding on page 3, in the second paragraph, place the insertion point immediately before the last period in the paragraph. On the References tab, in the Insert Citation, you have your two sources listed there. Click North Lake Camping Committee. And it adds another citation. And then do a Control-S and save that. If we want to look at the source manager, the current list is the list of sources associated with the current document. The master list is available for use with any document created using the same user account on that computer. Both the master list and the current list are accessible via the source manager dialog box. So if we look there on the references tab, you have your manage sources button, and if we click that, it's going to open up our source manager. The source manager dialog box will open with your master list on the left and the current list on the right, which they match right now because we've only got the two sources. We're going to click New, which will allow us to create a new source. We're going to click the type of source, and it's going to be book. The author will be Anne Santiago. Title, Mountain Biking for Youth. Year, we're going to say 2014 again. City, Boston. Publisher, Holmes Press. And our medium is print. Then we're going to click OK. We've added a new source. Your Create Source dialog box will close, and the book you've added should appear in both the master and current list. In the current list, there is no check mark indicating that the book is not cited. Click Close. Alright, so editing a citation. If you need to add additional information to a citation, such as page numbers, click the citation to display the citation content control. Click the citation options arrow that appears, and then click Edit Citation to open the Edit Citation dialog box. So if we look there on page 3 in funding area, in the first paragraph, click the North Lake Camping Committee citation. Click the citation arrow. Click Edit Citation. Type 7 and then click OK in your Pages area there. And then click OK. The dialog box closes and the citation changes to include the reference page number for the report. In the second paragraph, under the funding heading, click North Lake Camping Committee and change the page reference to 12. Alright, so you've edited your citations to include page numbers. Go ahead and click Control S and save that. Now we're going to talk about generating a bibliography from your cited sources that you have added into your group. We're going to press Control End to take it to the bottom of our paper. We're going to insert a manual page break. So we're going to insert and go to Pages and do a page break so that we've inserted a new page. A new page 5 is then created. On the References tab in the Citation and Bibliography group, we're going to click the Bibliography button. And we're going to click Works Cited. The list of works cited is inserted below the Works Cited heading. The Works Cited heading is in the Style Selected in the Style box in the Citation and Bibliography group on the References tab. In this case, in the MLA style. The text is formatted in the body font, and the Works Cited heading is formatted in the Heading 1 style. Okay. To modify a source, to To modify information about a source, you need to open the Edit Source dialog box for that source. To do this, you click a citation to that source in the document. To display the content control, you'll click the citation option arrow on the content, and then you'll click the Edit Source, or in the Source Manage dialog box, you'll select the source in either the master list or the current list, and then click Edit. Okay, so we're going to go back up to page 1, and in the paragraph under the available landing, we're going to click the Freeman citation. Okay, under available land, the Freeman citation, you'll drop your arrow down for your options, and we're going to click Edit Source. Alright, your dialog box will open. In the month, type August. And then click OK. Alright, a dialog box opens asking if you want to update the master source list and the current document. Click Yes. And the dialog box will close and the source is modified, although the citation remains unchanged. However, if you look at your works cited down here, it didn't change. So we're going to have to update our list of works cited. So we're going to open page 5. We're going to click anywhere in the list of works cited. The list becomes highlighted and the content control container is visible. On the Title tab, click the Update Citations and Bibliography button. And now your new changes for Freeman will appear. Alright, we're going to click off of that, we're going to save, and I'm going to carry it back to the top of the page. The last thing we're going to talk about in this chapter is footnotes and endnotes. A footnote is an explanatory comment or reference that appears at the bottom of a page. When you create a footnote, Word inserts a small superscript number called a reference marker in the text and in the bottom margin of the page and positions the insertion point next to it so you can type the text of the footnote. Endnotes are similar, except that the text of an endnote appears at the end of a section or at the end of a document, and the reference marker is a lowercase Roman numeral unless you change it. Word automatically manages the reference markers for you, keeping them sequential from the beginning of the document to the end, no matter how many times you add, delete, or move footnotes or endnotes. For example, if you move a paragraph containing footnote 4 so that it falls below the paragraph containing footnote 1, falls before the paragraph containing footnote 1, Word renumbers all your footnotes in the document to keep them sequential. So on page 4, under the questions heading, you're going to position the insertion point after the question mark after question number 4. On the References tab in the Footnotes group, click the Insert Footnote. Okay, a superscript 1 is inserted as a reference marker at the insertion point, and the same reference marker is positioned to appear in the bottom margin below a separator line. The insertion point is next to the number in the bottom margin, ready for you to type the text of the footnote. Type the text there on page 381 at item number 3. If we need to increase our liability insurance, this will affect the budget. In the footnote, double-click directly on the reference marker, and then click the Then the document scrolls to the location of the reference marker in the text. Scroll up to page 3. In the bulleted list, position the insertion point after the last first level bulleted item safety. On the References tab in the Footnotes group, click the Insert Footnote button. The cipher script now appears. The script is 1. Your other one will be relabeled to 2. We're going to type in the text. We might want to have each participant sign a contract agreeing to these terms. On the References tab in the Footnotes group, click the Next Footnote button. Notice that it is now labeled 2. Alright, this footnote has been renumbered to keep it in sequential order. Alright, let's save our document. We want to go back to the top, make sure it's saved, and then you can close your document. Make sure that you've got all your changes made and that you save it, because you will turn this in for a grade. That concludes the lecture for Chapter 11. If you have any questions, please let me know.